All right. Hello, everyone. We do apologize for the long wait you had there. We had to wait for that first map to finish up there, but we are now with it as Ancients Gaming are now up 1-0 after winning their first map of Cafe 7-4, and we will now be heading on over to Villa. Our second match here. It's going to be an interesting one. Now, this is Premier's map pick, so this could very easily go the other way around. I thought we were ready to go ahead and get into it, but Cthulhu is checking on something with the teams really quick. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting match. Ancients is pretty much they're a staple in ESA. They've been around for a long time. Go ahead and they've never, I believe at one point they were in the invite series and they ended up getting relegated down. But during this last season, the winter 2020 season, Valkyrie they were the champions. And I believe I need to make sure. I'm checking on things to make sure I don't say it wrong. But okay, they actually haven't updated that, and I can't say. Never mind. But yeah. But Ancients have been around for a long time. They've been through a couple of different rosters, but I mean they're always a really powerful team, and they've been pretty consistent in how well they play. They haven't, when it comes to some of the more top tier teams and contenders, they haven't been able to perform at quite as well. But when it comes down to it, they're still a very powerful team.
Well, you've certainly excited me, man. I haven't watched him yet, but I'm about to, and we see Thatcher as the first band. Who will follow? Will it be a Maverick? Are they going to totally shut down? No, it'll be Jackal. Okay, so it's Thatcher and Jackal for the bands on offense. Defense coming up next. Who will be sitting out? Probably Mira. I feel like Mira's always just get out. Oh, it's Pulse.
That is an interesting ban, where you can get rid of quite a few different operators that can have potentially a stronger effect on your to make your attack a little bit easier. Pulse is an interesting ban. I think it might change up a little bit of how Ancients plans on playing it. Now here's the thing. We didn't see the first map. Ancients could have had an incredible Pulse play during the first map that just absolutely pulled things way in their favor, and Premier were like, we don't want to touch it at all. We want to just get rid of it and not deal with it at all.
Yeah, very true. And they left the Mira open for the first time in my casting career. Mira has not been banned. Maybe they'll switch to her. Who knows? Oh no, it's okay. But indeed, who knows what happened? We have no clue how it went, other than Ancients won 7-4. Other than that, we're just coming in blind. As round one will get underway after a quick prep phase. Drones are going out, defenses are going up, and we are getting ready.
Yeah. No. So starting out, they're on Aviator Games, which is, I mean, this is the pretty standard first site. It's pretty much consistently seen as the very first site. So I think probably the most interesting thing here is probably the Echo, because Echo he's been left open a couple of times, but during the last time we saw Villa, he was banned out. But I think he can have some interesting effects here, especially as far as intel gathering. I mean, he has a really unique camera placement as far as his drones go. Now, they do have Nomad there on the IQ, who's going to be a very easy counter to it if she decides to look up at all. But so he'll have to place them very, very smart, to where that even if they're visible, they'll be very hard for Nomad to take care of, unless he's in maybe a more vulnerable position where someone can potentially take him them out if he wants them to have any really good effect.
Absolutely. It's going to be important for him to try to keep those yokais alive as possible. You've seen how effective they can be. A plant refusal, a plant denial, rather, is absolutely huge. You can end a round, like kick them on off, and time runs out. We'll see if it comes down to that, but who knows as it's rounding the 2-minute mark. And there it is. It's a trade it's not a trade, but a refrag as Nomad goes down. The actual that's gonna be fun. IQ goes down, but a refrag happens and Mozzie will drop.
Yeah, already taking out the Mozzie, but probably the bigger thing there is taking out that IQ so very early. I mean, that allows Sandwich Man to use both of his yokai drones as long as he possibly can, and that's a lot more utility up for him later on in the round as well.
That's gonna be big. Another man hits the dust this time. It's gonna be Keen Minds. He will drop the Jaeger now out of it. But Yosh taking a lot of damage, finished off by Fate, and this is looking good. 3v3, but oh, what a shot! Down goes Flacco.
Yeah, and Flacco also mentioned is actually a sub here for Ancients, not on the roster, but it looked like during the last map, I will actually pull up the final scoreboard here just to make sure I say it correctly. But we look at this during that. Flacco ended up pulling off 12 kills during the last match. And I think he's definitely going to be someone to watch. Flacco and Keen Minds are definitely going to be the two people to watch. I mean, they seem to be the two big fraggers on the side of Ancients. But looking through the scoreboard, none of them are slouches either. And it's the same on the side of Premier. I mean, yes, they were down by 3 rounds, but you still had Nomad breaking 11 kills and a pretty even kill spread, 8-7-7-4 the rest of the way down. So these look like two very well balanced teams. Overall, and I mean, it's shown right there as Premier eSports are able to clean up round number 1 there. Toph, they're able to get one, finish up on the one behind the bar there, and yeah, so Premier eSports already showing that they're going to come in swinging after that loss in the last map.
Yeah, they definitely want to have their revenge here. It's their map, they're comfortable, and I think we saw that. Really a good job on kind of dismantling, as you like to say, that defense. One by one, they fell. They did lose the IQ, but luckily it wasn't that big of a thing. I don't really think the yokai played a great role there, and we won't be seeing a yokai this time as there's no Echo or is no Wumai will be switched in.
Yeah, so bringing out the Wumai, I think that's Flacco seeing that, hey, my Ela didn't have that much of an impact last round. Let me bring something that will bring an impact. That Wumai, that grenade denial is definitely something that you want to see. Excuse me.
Absolutely, and we've talked about the combo between Jaeger they have together, a fantastic combo. You talk about staples here. Jaeger has always been a staple. You see him every single round, and it just goes to show how important utility is in this game. You've got to be able to shut it down, and if you're on offense, you've got to be able to keep it up. Get as many nades, get as many things opening up as you can. It's typically you want Siege to be almost a battle of these two great teams with a whole bunch of utility, and not rather just each of them smacking each other in the face until, you know, one dies.
Yeah. So I think probably, again, Flacco and Keen Minds here are going to be the two to watch for. Keen Minds, I've seen him play on Ancients for a long time. He is a monster of a fragger when he gets going. So, I mean, him being on the Jaeger, and he's sitting over there in Master Bedroom, and he can potentially have a lot of impact if he plays this right. But it looks like it's going to be a similar sort of take here from Premier. I mean, it doesn't look like they've changed things up that much. They're going for more of a main lobby sort of balcony push rather than what's sort of known as the standard of the Master Bedroom push back around through 90 with a little bit of a pressure from balcony. So yeah, it's interesting to see how they've sort of changed up the sort of standard push here, and we're going to see Toph there take down Keen Minds very, very quickly there. as he tries to rotate around to help support the pressure that they're putting on the bottom stairs there. Sergeant Taylor looking to rotate around and potentially get some kills onto the people down below as he's still holding over an Astro.
You saw Flacco take a bit of damage there. He was killed up by the Doc using 2 of his stims, and that's Keen Minds down. The guy we were watching has been killed 2 rounds in a row, almost as one of the first picks. Unfortunate to see him. You'd like to see everyone going off and doing their thing, but we won't be seeing that. Toph right now has a decently low HP, around 30, I would say. Minute and 20 to go on the clock, and things are gonna get even crazier. Still hiding, ready to get things going is Flacco, looking for angles, trying to get some heads popped. We'll see if anyone walks into him. Switch over to the dock. Now we've got Sergeant Taylor. Everybody's here, and a minute to go.
Yeah, so I think something to mention here too as well is, I mean, this is Premier's map pick. This is the map that they wanted to go to. Ancients wanted to take them to the Cafe, so it totally makes sense that they performed really, really well on Cafe, and they may not be performing as well here as, hey, this isn't their map pick. This isn't where they wanted to go. So yeah, they're it's totally reasonable for them not to be doing the best. And if we end up seeing this head to a third map, they're heading over to Clubhouse, which, knowing Ancients and seeing how frag heavy their team is, I feel like they won't have too much of a struggle on Clubhouse. And I don't think I may have seen them play once or twice, and I feel like, especially with them feeling as good as they do on Cafe, that they probably do well on Clubhouse as well, just generally knowing them. But there are 2 members of Premier down, has no one said, and Nomad that were downed, and Jello, they're going to be taken out by that C4. Sergeant Taylor's going to yeet one over behind the vault door, and that is Ancients taking their very first round.
All right, so we're tied up 1-1 as we move around through. From the defense, you saw how little time the offense had anyway at the end of that round. They used almost all of it and really didn't have that much of a chance to get a plant down. Defense looking pretty solid, even without, one of their top Keen Minds. They were able to do a good job at dying and slowing them down, and we'll head in again, this time going to trophy and statuary as a Valkyrie comes out instead of the Legion.
Yeah, so I think probably that is just to get as much intel as they possibly can, and just really try and do as much as they can to probably support, to try and support Keen Minds and Sergeant Taylor's. It looks like they're being set up to be probably the 2 fragging operators here. I mean, you have Keen Minds sitting on the Jaeger, Sergeant Taylor sitting on that Mozzie. I mean, you have 2 Echo drones as well as those 3 Black Eye cameras. And I have a feeling we'll probably see Sergeant Taylor and Fate, if I had to guess, with possibly Flacco joining them downstairs, sitting in kitchen dining area, trying to get that C4 up onto the master bedroom floor there. And I think that's probably where the use of the Black Eyes will come in as well. They do have Nomad sitting down there with a drone to potentially try and counter that, but not really in a good position to really stop it overall. So if they do decide to go sit down there, there's not a ton really looking to stop there, but they don't look like there's anyone actually set up down there currently for the Nitro Cell. So unless they get someone down there quick, I don't think they'll have really any pressure at all down there, as it already looks like there's members of Premier looking to enter downstairs.
Getting in quickly, and like you said, there's a lot of utility they have in the C4. Nitro cells can do so much damage. We've seen it before, and I'm sure we'll see it again. It's just one of the things that happens in Siege. You get blown up, and these guys are trying to avoid that as much as possible. Yokai drone going to do a bit of a yokai thing, and there's Flacco taking down Top. Beautiful shot from the Valkyrie.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, so Toph already going to be the first one taken out here, and that's a Sophia down. That's a little bit of utility, but overall, it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. And we're going to see Yosh there finally getting taken out. Keen Minds getting his first kill of the round here, and that's your vertical control taken down. And I think that was their best chance at also getting rid of those mute jammers as well without the aid of the IQ. But Nomad is still up and can potentially get that. But Sandwich Man able to take down Jello as well. There's no more hard reach on the board. That's going to make this very, very hard for the remaining members of Premier here.
Yeah, things are looking tough. You know, you've got Nomad with the IQ, and no one said with the Nomad it all. A good shot there from the IQ to take down Sergeant Taylor. And, well, he's trying to even it up just a little bit more. Sandwich Man still on the Echo, doing a good job so far. Got one frag across the board, but down goes No One Said. Keen Minds with a second frag. Nomad taking quite a bit of damage. The IQ tries to shoot back, but Fate will be sealing Nomad's fate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's Ancients starting to really. They're coming into their own now. They fumbled a little bit on that first round, but they're coming back together now. They're sort of they seem a little bit more cohesive now. I mean, they had that very quick sort of take from Premier during that very first round. They didn't really have any quick response to it, and now they seem very, very put together. They seem very, very cohesive in their defense, and they're able to really they're able to really combat this attack. Which, I mean, giving credit to Premier, they're still doing well with their attack. I really feel like they are doing.
Need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I think they're doing well with how they're setting up their attacks and how they're doing it, but Ancient is just able to outfrag them. I mean, they really, really are.
That's absolutely true. You've seen that there. And one thing to kind of note, guys did have to take a bit of an extended break before we got into this match. They were in a different lobby. They had to go to a new one. So maybe that might have been a little bit of a cause of the first round jitters there that we saw from Keen Minds, who's looking to open up now. He's got 2 kills in the last round, and I'm sure he has a couple more planned here.
Yeah, I definitely think that first round was just them sort of getting used to Villa, because again, this wasn't their map pick. Yes, it was their side pick, but they may not feel quite as comfortable on Villa as they feel on Cafe. So it just took them as like, hey, I mean, just a second, let's get into the groove of this. Let's actually like let's get used to being on this map, because it's a very different play style than Cafe. Cafe is just run around, it's just run around, shoot people, win your ones. This map, it's very different. It's very utility heavy, and it's very much on the strategy side and away from that just pure, hey, I'm gonna run around and I'm gonna shoot this guy.
Absolutely. You've got to be able to play it smart, and that's what they're looking to do. A beautiful Flacco's been a pretty big proponent so far. He's going to, it looks like Fate, kind of the man who's going off for their team as of right now with 4 kills and just 1 single death.
Yeah, so they're looking here to try and contest this player in bathroom. They have pings on the Ella here, the FO12 in hand. Fate is looking to do some damage here. I mean, that FO12 can just be absolutely damaging, especially in the close quarters that he's looking to use it in. That bathroom is the perfect area for him to use it in. If anyone gets a little bit too close, Fate's just going to rip him apart. And that's exactly what he's poised to do there, sitting in the bathroom. He still has a good rotate down Astro Stairs if he wants to. And he does have Keen Minds there, looking to try and push in, but Toph there with a great angle is able to take him down. Nomad here looking to try and contest, and it's still Fate. No damage done to him yet. So he's just waiting this out, and he sees the Capital, my mistake, but is not able to react in time. So Fate will go down, and now it's all up to Sandwich and Sergeant Taylor, who Sergeant Taylor's been doing some good work this round, so he still has the potential to do even more. But 1v5 is something hard to come back from. He will take down Toph and Jello though with a quick double kill, and that is also Diffuser down in that doorway. So, and now it's a retake situation from Premier. They have to run in and grab that Diffuser before they can do anything. Natural comes out over into the laundry area and not going to connect with anyone. So yeah, Yoshi is able to pick up the Diffuser though in the confusion. So it is now It's now up to them. Sergeant Taylor will go down. It is now a 1v3, all up to Sandwich Man. He will take down No One Said, though. So now it's a 1v2, a lot more doable here for him. Yosh will start planting. We'll get off of it, trying to fake a little bit here. Nomad here looking to get it, and the crossfire from him will win the round for Premier, tying it up 2-2.
A great shot there to finish it up. You saw the little bait there, and it worked out. It was a good play from Sergeant Taylor, though, you have to admit, 2v5, and that double kill instantly brought it into a much more manageable 2v3. Still, at the end of the day, didn't have the manpower and the frags to do it, but a good try and a good couple of kills nonetheless to Sergeant.
Yeah, definitely, and that was a good attack there by Premier. They spent a lot of time trying to get rid of that Ela, but once they did, they were able to flush them out and just immediately rotate back onto the site and start trying to take it. And I mean, unfortunately, they were slowed down there by Sergeant Taylor, who did a great job at repelling them. But Nomad did really well in just immediately reacting, getting that crossfire set up, getting the plant down, and able to protect Yosh as they were getting the plant down. And yeah, that was just the round right then and there, Dustin.
These two tend to go really fast once they start going, and kind of the fun thing about this, if you're playing like a casual match or even sometimes ranked, it's just like one guy goes down and then 20 seconds later maybe someone else gets tagged up. But this, it's just everyone's setting up, and then that last minute is just utter chaos, and it's just so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, I don't know. So looking at the last match, I mean, Ancients was very dominant in how they took it, but it was also their map fix. So I'm interested to see how this goes, because it already looks to be more of that sort of back and forth that we've seen in some other matches. But also looking over on the side of Ancients, the kills are just a little bit more balanced out than we see on the side of Premier.
Very true indeed. Doing a good job of balancing those out, and what a balancing act it is as they move in once again. So Ancient Gaming trying to shut down the attack, and I kind of wonder, what's going to happen once Premier goes on the defense themselves. Are they really going to shine there? Are they going to be able to pick up a whole lot of kills, a whole lot of wins? We'll have to find out. But I mean, the big question now is, what is going to be the split when the sides finally switch?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, because so far we've seen Ancients is really good at holding things together and being able to just really at times just completely and totally outfrag Premier. But I don't know. Premier has shown that they've been good at dismantling the defenses twice now. I mean, they were able to very easily take care of that kitchen defense, as well as we saw the very first time they went to Aviator Games. They were able to just completely and just totally run down Ancients, and it looks like they're already starting to do it again as Fate will fall to top there.
Yeah, very good shot indeed comes out from the Zofia to take down a Smoke. Smoke, of course, is not one of the operators you want to right off the bat. He's great at denying those last couple of seconds in the dying breaths of a round, and no the Smoke utility. So a good pick from there, as things are now going to start speeding up once again as we near the minute mark. They're going to start wanting to set up well and get things going. The big question is, will they continue to get the frags as Toph takes a whole bunch of damage? Not sure who from, but great shot from them.
Yeah, so we see an A coming out there from Yosh here, and trying to clear out 90 here is probably the biggest, probably their biggest thing. They want to clear a path here for Jello to be able to open up either that vault wall or either the wall over there back behind bar, so they could potentially clear out any defender sitting over here in games and start moving forward. Nomad there, able to take down Keen Minds as well. Another big pick for him there, as they will start, they're already dismantling this defense very well, and we're going to see them just going ahead and pushing into Aviator, and we're going to see Nomad taking out Sandwich Man. Yosh gets another double kill, though, is able to take out Sergeant Taylor and Flacco, and yeah, there it is. That's another round in the favor of Premier eSports.
A very dominating round as well. That beautifully played. You saw just how quickly the defense crumbled once they started losing the first couple of ops. You just can't hold all those angles, and they'll take advantage of that 10 times out of 10. Now going into round 6, this could be it for the defense. They have a chance to bring it to 3-3, but if they don't, it's going to be a 2-4 split for the offense, and that's pretty big.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, a 4-2 split on the attack. So it falls a little bit more towards the meta I was talking about during last match's Villa game. We saw a lot more attacker-sided Villa. There was really only, I mean, the only side that people were able to be successful on was Aviator Games. Now, we're seeing that change up a little bit with Ancients. They've been successful on Aviator Games once, they've been unsuccessful on it twice, and they've been successful once on Trophy Statuary. Which, another thing to mention, I don't know why they haven't gone back to Trophy Statuary, as they were successful on that site, and they're going back to Aviator Games, which they have a 1-2 record on right now.
That's a good question. It might just feel more comfortable there for some reason. Maybe they want to feel that comfort, but the stats do speak for themselves, and you're right. Trophy Statuary would make a lot more sense here.
Yeah, it absolutely would. They have a better record on it so far. That's the only side they've been able to consistently win. And there's the Nomad down, I believe, from a spawn peek from someone there. I'm not entirely sure from who, through the art window there.
Very, very peaky and pesky, and what a shot. No one said we'll be able to get back up. Now stuck at 20 HP, the Nomad is going to look to get revenge on whoever did her dirty like that.
Yeah. It's going... I'm going to be interested to see how this round plays out, because they're going back to the same site, but it looks like they're trying to go for a little bit of a different hold. They have Sergeant Taylor sitting downstairs, holding in living room instead. Now, they do have a lot of people getting some intel on it, and that will immediately come back in their favor as Toph comes in to take him out, as Nomad was also looking to support him there. They're very, very efficient in their clear here.
Ooh, a good refrag from Fate. Takes down Toph. Toph has been one of the top fraggers right alongside Nomad. Doing a great job for these two, but it was a good shot, as he will be taken out. No more Zofia. So minute and 38 to go, as I'll be all specific once again, and things are slowing down a little bit. We saw a couple of exchanges, but now they're needing to reset, really think about which way they're going to go in, try to compensate for No One Said's low HP, see what they can do with her, and they're going to move in from there.
Yeah, so Sergeant Taylor being down, it's not that big of a deal into guns, but you've also lost a C4 there, which arguably on the site is not that big of a deal. Toph being down, same sort of situation. It's really it's a gun. You've lost a little bit of utility, but it's not that much all in all. Sergeant Taylor's is still up. I mean, those black eye cams are useful for just about as long as they possibly can be. So, I mean, this is still really anyone's round. Some fire being traded back and forth there. Nomad able to actually get a kill there onto Keen Mind. Sandwich Man quickly refragging it back onto there. And so once again, it's gone straight out. Nomad arguably a little bit bigger of a pick, as he's been one of the main fraggers here on the side of Premier. We see Sandwich Man also taking down Jello, getting another kill there onto Yosh there. A great triple there from Sandwich Man, as we now see it's all up to No One Said here. The Nomad, who was downed at the very beginning of this round, down at 20 HP, ARX 2000 in hand, and up against 3 members of Ancients. He will not win it, and the round will go even. A 3-3 half for Ancients.
And a big round for this Sandwich Man, who was able to do some great take down the final Nomad. And now, like you said, we're tied up, as this looks to be a very, very back and forth round and a back and forth game. Switching over to the defense now will be the lovely, excuse me. Oh no, Ancient Gaming will be going on to the offense now, as Premier goes to defense. Let's see what they do. I'm excited to find out if this is where we're going to see a lot of shining from the map pickers themselves. Premier should be pretty comfy on here, and they're going to bring out quite a few big ops here. It's a lot of chance for C4 if Valkyrie, Mute, Mozzie, and Goyo are all that C4 there.
Yeah, so let's see, which side are they heading to? I missed it. They are going down. Okay, so they're going kitchen dining area first, which I somewhat understand this play. The reasoning behind it was similar to, I believe it was, oh, who was it? Whoever it was that went to gym bedroom first during the last match. I can't remember which team it was, whether it was ranked or it was all for one. I can't. Whichever team that went there, it's the same sort of mentality. It's the offsite. It's meant to try and throw the attackers for a loop. Here's the thing.
5 seconds to
Ancients is a very well-established tier 3 team. They've been in the scene for a very long time. You can't throw them for a loop. I gotta be honest. I mean, they're going for the most part. They're gonna know how to attack most of these sites.
Yeah, they better. After being around for so long, you'd like to hope that they're going to be able to do some good work. And, ooh, what a shot! It's Keen Minds to take off the first one. Jello goes down, as that'll be the IQ opening up another little bit of an engagement here, as he'll be trying to pick off somebody, but a good shot takes down the Valkyrie. Once again, not a whole lot of utility, as she did get her black guys off, lose a C4, but that's going to be all.
Yeah, so yeah, Jello going down. Yeah, same thing you mentioned, just not just a little bit of utility going down on a gun, but they're already making quick work of surrounding the site and getting set up for the push without really taking a ton of top floor control, which is interesting because usually for the site you see they have to take a ton of top floor control, try and flush out as many anchors as you possibly can before really trying to push onto the site. And they haven't really tried to take any so far. I mean, there's still two players, I believe, 2 or 3, still up on that top floor, holding it down. As I said, though, Yosh there able to take down Sergeant Taylor, who tried to push there into the A site. It looks like they still have 2 members over there looking to push in. Keen Minds over here looking to try and make an impact there and take out Nomad here, who's holding it down. Yosh gets another one there, taking out Fate. And there's still Keen Minds trying to push up the pantry. Stairs, still one outside in the statuary. Nomad taking down Sandwich Man as well. This attack is starting to fall apart. I mentioned they were trying to keep away from going down through those standard angles and taking that top floor control, but it seems like that's exactly what they needed. They had no way to flush out those anchors, and that just really fell apart, despite them being able to get some kills there towards the end. I mean, without being able to significantly flush out those anchors, I mean, there's nothing really you can do to attack that site. So Premier are going to pretty much heavy-handedly take that round, and we will see them up with a 4-3 advantage.
A very, very deep win. We might be seeing something quickly going here, but we might also be going to an overtime map. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Will Ancient be able to figure out their opponents here on on Premier's map pick, or will it be just a confusing mess of what do we do here until it's going to be too late and they are seen at match point?
So heading now to, they're sort of doing a reversal of the typical sort of site order. The site order, it's kind of the typical one. It goes Aviator Games, Statuary Trophy, and then Kitchen Dining. They sort of reverse this. They went Kitchen Dining, they're going Statuary Trophy, and they're leaving. I honestly think it's a smart play. They're leaving Aviator Games as their final site because, hey, that's almost a guaranteed defensive win. It's not always, but it's almost a guaranteed defensive win. So most people take it as their very first one because they want to try to sort of they want to try and get the ball rolling early with an easy site. Well, Premier have done what some other teams try to do. They try to take the offsite so they don't have to try and bank on their momentum, keeping them going through that offsite. They bank on their momentum, pushing them to that easy site so they don't have to worry about it later on, and they can just continue snowballing past that. It's an interesting strategy that other teams take, but it oftentimes doesn't work out, and it's interesting to see that Premier is already starting to make this work.
Definitely very, very interesting indeed, as we are now to yet another round. Premier looking to take another win, but absolutely shredding. Tolf goes down as he made a big push. The IQ doesn't even get punished for it. A very, very clean kill from Keen Minds. He's going to try to keep that up. If they can continue to pick down the defense, they'll be in a great position to go ahead and wipe them on out and keep this game just about as close as it can be. A beautiful shot from Fate as Jello will fall. That's the kite dead and gone. Once again, not a huge pick. It's unfortunate to lose the TCSG, but not a lot of utility as long as he did get out his claws.
Yeah, definitely. Now, probably no one said here is going to be one of the bigger players. No one said Nomad. That MP5 SD as well as the 416 are going to be big in preventing this push coming out from Ancients. As it looks like they're getting ready to stack up onto the onto Statuary here, and they do see the Jaeger moving in, so they are going to be prepared for that push out coming out from him. He's going to be spraying around the corner, nothing connecting just yet. 5-on-3 here, it's going to be very difficult for Premier to come around, but Yosh will actually come up through Master Bedroom and take down Sandwich Man to try and slow them down a little bit. Key Mind's actually downed as well, and before Nomad finishing him off, evening out the man advantage 3-3 before Flacco comes in, takes down Nomad, putting it down to a 3-2.
Definitely a very, very interesting game. Early, and there goes Flacco again. No one said will be dropping. It's a 3v1 all upon the back of Yosh. The Mozzie left alone with full HP and a nice little nitro nade that will be wasted. Your nade comes in, takes a bit off of his HP, but it'll be Sergeant Taylor to shut him down. A good headshot, as that'll be another round for Ancients.
Yeah, Ancients are starting to pull this back here. It's just, it's very, very back and forth between these two teams here.
It really is. I don't think they've really let each other get more than a 1-point lead. I don't.
Yeah,
they?
no,
It's been.
it hasn't. It's been very back and forth. It's not been more than a one. I think at one point Ancients might have had no. They didn't even have a 2-point lead. It's been even, or it's been a 1-point lead for either team. So.
Yeah, that's very neck and neck right there. Oh my goodness. I mean, even when we talk about the last match, it was like a 2-point lead, and then the other team would come back 2, or even 3. But this is just one after another. You win one, I win one, I win. And well, that's not going to last for long. I'm sure eventually, if you keep doing that, you're going to find yourself an OTMP, the overtime match point, and then somebody has got to take the dub.
Yeah, definitely. So, 3 rounds away from both of these teams. Premier, I feel like, has the potential. I think Premier has the potential advantage here. I mean, sitting on defense, you generally feel like that the defense have an advantage because normally Villa is a fairly defender-sided site at this level, but and we saw that during the last match as well. I mean, it was very very defender-sided, but we saw it go even during the last half, and it's already going even so far here. I mean, you're sitting up at an even 1-1 on both sides for this half. Yeah, this is still so much up in the air.
It really is. It's hard to read it at this point. Both teams have been doing a good job. Yeah, it really has been just the back and forth, just fight, just a straight up fist fight right at each other. And it is hard to say who's going to be able to come out on top. Big shot as Nomad takes down Ancient. Ancient has been a big proponent for, Fate. Fate has been a big proponent for Ancient, so it's a sore sight to lose him. But I'm sure they're going to try to continue the best they can. A good frag, though, coming out for Premier.
Well, I mean, again, I talked about it earlier as well. Look at how balanced Ancient is right now for their kills. There are only 2 people not up at 6 kills right now, and everyone else is up at 6 kills. And pretty much everyone is going even. The only one who isn't is Keen Minds, but he's sitting at 5 kills, 5 assists, and 7 deaths. He's not that far from being uneven. He's still doing really well, and that just sort of speaks to the sort of synergy that Ancients has, and how generally these people are able to win their ones, and they're able to sort of keep these kills up in check. Whereas you've got Nomad, Yosh, and Toph here who are really sitting up at the top 3 spots for fraggers, given they are playing fairly frag heavy roles. I don't want to dock Jello and No One Said. I mean, they've been playing more supportive roles, but it's the fact that even on those supportive roles, Ancients have still been able to get kills and keep even with the rest of their team.
Absolutely, very, very good job there to stay even. And no refrac has come. It's still a healthy team for Premier. And we're edging onto the 1 minute mark. We'll see what happens. Keen Mind's looking to get something, and he will. Nomad falls very quickly. Once again, a clean kill, as he will not be damaged. Who will be damaged is Flacco, taking quite a bit. 3v4 there, as Toff will take down Keen Minds. That's a big frag to take out, as now we are in a 3v4. Oh, the fire, and then the final shot to take down Toph. A big one, 3v3. And it's just 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, really, the big person they're going to have to take out here is Yosh. That Commando 9 is going to be really, really deadly, especially with those bullet holes right there. But it looks like they're focusing their efforts onto statuary here. And with no IQ left up, they are going to have to worry about potentially a shock charge coming out here to prevent this plant. Now, he's going to start moving his drone through that, which is potentially going to get it seen, but it doesn't matter. They're sandwiched. They're going to take out Jello. It's Yosh and no one said here. And it looks like they have spotted the drone, and they are going to be able to take it out, and they're going to start planting it out. Yosh taking down Sandwich Man. Flacco taking down no one said. It's all up to Yosh now, as he does take down Sergeant Taylor to prevent the plant. And Flacco cannot get there in time, and that will be Premier taking round number 9. Up now 5-4.
So once again, Premier will take the little bit of a lead there. A great play from both sides. It really, really came down to the time a little bit there. A good try from Flacco, but what a play. Man, you really do like to see what Yosh is doing right now. His kills are just absolutely phenomenal. He's looking to be one of the top fraggers in the game. In fact, I think he might be the top fragger in the game. No, it's, yeah, right there up with Nomad, and they have 10 apiece. Very good. You did say that Old Ancients is very, very evenly spread out, but is that going to be good enough if you have a team that has 2 fraggers and then a baseline who is also doing what they need to do?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, like, you don't want to count out Jello and no one said. As yes, they aren't doing very well in the frags department, but they aren't sitting on fragging roles. I mean, they really aren't. So it totally makes sense that, hey, they're not sitting up exactly where they need to be as far as KD goes. But I mean, they're on fragging roles. They may not have the strongest guns, whereas the people that should be fragging are, and that's why Premier, despite not having the even kill spread we see on the side of Ancients, which has been part of why they're sitting where they are as far as score, why Ancients isn't all the way at the top and Premier is just in the floor, because everyone's still doing their job despite not having that sort of despite not having that even spread that Ancients does.
It's an interesting dynamic to see. You see 2 very, very different, I guess, potential spreads, and it's cool to see that both of them can keep you pretty close. But at the end of the day, just as we saw with All for One, will it come down to your top fraggers just being left with too much weight?
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, we kind of saw that on the side of All for One. I mean, all the weight was sort of left on the shoulders of them, and they weren't really able to, because it was left all on their shoulders. They weren't really able to do much with it, and it kind of got. I mean, they just kind of got they kind of just got stuck with it, and it caused them to lose at the very end. But it doesn't seem that way on Premier. I mean, everyone's still able to pull their own weight, and it wasn't. We weren't seeing inconsistencies with fragging potential, like we did on All for One. I mean, these guys. I mean, all 3 of them, and yes, they're all consistently able to be fraggers in every single round, win or lose. These guys are still able to get kills. So I definitely think that's why Premier has a little bit of an edge here.
Yeah, it's a massive advantage there, just to be able to continuously take the frag. We talked about it a little bit before, but you've got to be consistent here, and that's what they're doing. They're being very consistent, and it's going to start paying off dividends as the rounds continue. Talking about that, Premier is in a very, very important spot here. If they win this, they'll be taking Ancients to map point, and that could be huge. They could take us to an overtime map within 2 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going on to kitchen. This is, I mean, they've completed a pretty much perfect rotation. Now that almost a perfect rotation. They lost one of the rounds, but a near perfect rotation there. Has been a fantastic spot. Flacco, they're able to take down Toph, though, evening out to a 4-4, essentially a 4-3, now a 4-2, as Sergeant Taylor is actually down there. Nomad going to go down as well. Jello takes down Sergeant Taylor. Keyminds finds Nomad, and it's still a 2-on-3 here as Flacco and Keyminds look to go ahead and get in. Keyminds, a nasty little shot there onto Yosh, and now it's all up to Jello, and no one said the two support players here are going to have to clutch this out.
And what a go all upon Keyminds. He was down, but not out, but he's pretty much out at this point. They are still worried about him. It looks like a defuse will be found soon, as well as will Keyminds. Once they spot him out, it's all over. And that'll be a good job from Premier to take these guys to map point just, I mean, pretty quickly there. That's the first time they were able to take that lead, take more than a... It's definitely a good place to take that 2-point lead.
Yeah, definitely. So taking a 2-point lead here, and now, I mean, they're on map point, and as you mentioned, they have a potential to take this to an overtime map, and Ancients are going to have to, they're going to have to step it up. They really are. So they're going back to Aviator Games, and I believe this is the only site that Ancients has won up against Premier. So this is where they have the potential to close that gap, but they close that gap, they're going to have to continue to close it in the next round on sites that they have lost to Premier on. They're going to have to make some sort of change if they want to close this out here and now. But other than that, they still have another map after this. Even if they lose right here, they definitely still have the potential going forward to do some really good work.
Absolutely, and you know, like you mentioned, this is Premier's choice map. They wanted to go here, and seeing why they're doing a great job. Ancients Gaming trying to keep pace, but we saw a 7-4, I believe, in the first game. We might be seeing a 7-4 here in the second game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just on reverse sides.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes. Premier looking to shut him down and take him to Clubhouse.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, and I think Clubhouse Ancients might have the other hand. Just because of how I've seen them play.
Absolutely. They are very, very good from what I've seen. I'm excited. You know, you look at the stats, once again, very, very well spread out. Keyminds and Flacco doing a lot of the work. The Sandwich Man, as well as the rest of them, very close behind. It's looking good. I mean, they really aren't trailing too far behind the top fraggers of Nomad, who's even right now just a couple of kills off, and they're really holding their own at this point. But will they be able to hold their own as they go in to match point? You said there was a gap. There's a very big gap that they're going to have to fill. It's going to be tough, but if they can do it, they'll be all the more happier.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to mention, they're already over by the site here. They've made a lot of good progress in entering in, clearing out master bedroom, and just moving on in. A minute already gone, and at this point, you usually see people either just entering or they're just slowly starting to make their way in, but we see Ancients already up trying to contest the site, and they are, they're definitely doing a lot of good work and making sure they have plenty of time to go through this execute if something doesn't go wrong.
They do have a lot of time, and that's something a lot of teams don't have when they start going on the attack. They let it, run down to the last 25 seconds, and if something happens that doesn't go according to their plan, well, that could be the round lost. Time is so essential here.
Yeah, I mean, and with plenty of time left, and it looks like they are going to be able to drone out that Jaeger spot, which definitely looks it's a very dirty spot if you didn't see it beforehand, but it looks like they have spotted it out, which is going to make it a little bit more ineffective. But even so,
yeah, that is a very, very tough spot. There's no way you would be able to see him coming in from that side, and if you did, you'd probably be a lot better than me.
Yeah, so they've got 3 people here stacking up, looking to go ahead and take down Aviator. It looks like they've cleared just about everyone out. They've got people stacking up at the side of Study. They're watching the angles out on 90. They're getting behind that door, and yep, this looks like the perfect plant spot. Flacco's able to take down No One Said. They spraying through, and it looks like the plant was actually denied there. Yosh and Toph running in and able to take down players. Keymine's getting the refrag kill, but Toph able to rotate back around and get kills there. Flacco takes down Nomad, and it looks like Toph will be taken down there by Flacco as well. Jello takes down Sergeant Taylor, and now it's all up to Jello and Flacco. Flacco, with control of the diffuser, can potentially get a plant off here if he's able to use his utility correctly. He has 1 smoke and 2 fire bolts still left here, so he can definitely still do a lot. The ping's coming out there onto Flacco. Actually, they don't know exactly where he is. The spray's coming out from Flacco, but it's not enough, as Jello will close it out, and Premier will take the map. And that will take us to map number 3.
Wow, so what an even spread we have here. A great job from their map. 7-4 for Ancient in the first map when they took him to Cafe, and now here on Villa, it'll be a 7-4 in the favor of Premier. So we'll be heading out to Clubhouse in just a couple of moments. Cthulhu, are we taking a 5-minute, or are we just going to hop right into it? All right, so we'll take a quick 5-minute break. Be right back. Don't go anywhere, because this game is going to come to a head as we go into Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to the final map of the final game of tonight's series. Fantastically exciting is this, as I'll just coin a new phrase there. It's Ancients versus Premier. If you've missed what's happened, Ancients took their first map. That was, of course, Cafe 7-4. Premier then followed up on Villa with another 7-4. So these guys are tied neck and neck as we go to the overtime map, which is going to be Clubhouse. Looks like Maverick's going to take the first bite. He won't be seen in this game.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, if I had to make a guess, I would, knowing Ancients, I think we're going to see Thatcher taken out. Yep, there it is.
What a
Yeah,
play.
knowing Ancients and Thatcher, so I think it's kind of a toss-up. It's between the three of Mira, Echo, and Maestro. Those are pretty much the three standard defensive bans, and it just really depends on the preference. We're going to see Echo taken out there by Ancients, and from Premier, if I had to guess at this point, I'm guessing they'll probably take out Mira. Because
Interestingly,
they're probably going to want to use the Maestro to their advantage. So I'm guessing they'll get rid of the Mira and leave Maestro on the board for them to use.
was it last game that Mira was left unbanned? No one even used. Kind of
Yeah,
hoping to see some crazy Mira strats.
yeah, and it's partially because Mira doesn't have a ton of use on Clubhouse. I mean, yes, there are places where you can use her, but overall, when it comes down to it, she doesn't have a ton of use, and she's banned just sort of as a filler ban, just to say, let's get rid of this so we get rid of something at the very least.
Okay, that makes sense. Very, very good. So it will be Ancients going on the offense first. They'll be trying to do their best to crack what has been a pretty solid defense coming from Premier. And they're looking to start off hardcore. Keen Minds has been pretty solid. He was in the first game great. Last game, he did not go off quite as much. But of course, that wasn't his map choice. He'll be going with the Ash, the main fragger, perhaps. We'll see if it goes well for him as we hop on into round number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're going to be heading down to Church Arsenal, which is a fairly standard first site. It's probably one of the easiest to defend sites here on the map. And it can be done in a number of ways. There is the now some would call it infamous, some would call it famous SSG hold, which is a mute Mozzie centric hold with castling off most of the bar. And it can be very effective in the right hands. It allows for that sort of, you leave the site sort of open and then you just prepare for the collapse back onto it. But that really requires a really frag heavy team. That requires you to have every single one of your roamers has to be very, very skilled fraggers, so that they can have that retake and they can have that retake go very, very well. So I would guess that Premier is probably not wanting to do that. I think they want to play this a little bit safer, go with the more standard sort of rank strat, which is have a couple people roaming upstairs, but for the most part have everything centered on that basement floor, so that they can just hold that down as tight as they possibly can.
Yeah, it's kind of high risk, high reward there for the SSG strat. If it works well. But if it doesn't, well, you've just left site almost completely open, and it's not going to work great. Mozzie snagging a couple of drones there. Good job from the Aussie.
Yeah, and so taking out those drones, the biggest thing that it does there is it gets rid of taking care of those drones there. I mean, that's intel lost for the operators there, and it prevents. I mean, the biggest thing, it seems that Mozzie was used in almost a defensive sort of capability there to prevent them from knowing No One's Head and Yoshi's position. Sort of allow them to sort of go unnoticed. And you see there, Keen Minds looked over towards Strip Club and didn't fully check on Yosh, because there's no reason to go check back there, because there was no indication that he was even back there. Sergeant Taylor going to be the first one taken out, though. No One Said getting the first kill of this map.
Beautiful job there from No One Said. Fantastic frag. Almost said fragtastic, which should be another term we can coin there. But that'll put a little bit more pressure here attacking side, as they've lost a good man. That's a lot of vertical control. as you would say, lost and gone. They're going to have to try to find another way to bug them. And it looks like the Hibana was going to try to open up that hatch.
Yeah, but that impact tree coming out there is going to make it a lot harder. And now Yosh is in a very interesting position here. He's waiting, and he's waiting for them to come and try and take over Moto Hatch, which is going to be very difficult for them, especially now that Sergeant Taylor is gone. Usually the way that you take care of that with Thatcher gone, for those of you that don't know, you shotgun open the floor that's there just in front of the stairs there. Yosh going to get killed there onto Flacco, as I'm explaining that, though. Key Mine is taking quite a bit of damage as well. Fate going to be able to finish off Yosh though for the refrag, but Flacco being gone, that's most of your hard reach gone. You still have Sandwich Man with one exothermic charge, but it's going to be hard for him to get to the place he needs to go. Keen Mind's just going to drop into sight there, as well as Sandwich, and there's Fate going to finish it off with Nomad take him down, and Premier are going to take that round.
Wow, what a what a drop in there. It didn't end up working, but I mean, they were in a tough position. Probably thought Nastis desperate or just trying to catch him off guard, but the Maestro was ready to get him.
Mm-hmm.
So a good defensive win coming out from the boys in orange. That's going to be Premier taking the win, and this could be a good sign here. We might be able to see a quick game if they're able to get that dominant hand and keep it going. But knowing these two teams, it will not go that way. We'll just keep seeing a back and forth unless we don't. We'll find out here to see if Ancient starts a comeback.
Yeah, and it's entirely possible that we start seeing a comeback from Ancients here. I mean, they've been a very
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
they've been a very volatile team. I want to say. I mean, they're very consistent when they win. But overall, whether or not they win is just like either their attacks work, they work very well and they work very fluidly, or they just do not work at all. I mean, it's just kind of been one or the other for these two teams.
Absolutely, it is very true. It's just kind of both the extremes that we've seen here, just like you said, and you have to hope that it'll go at least well for them. You know, I don't like seeing teams get absolutely trashed upon. I like seeing a nice little fight like we saw in the last game. Of course, they were able to pull away at the last couple of rounds. But that's what I'm hoping to see here, unless, you know, they decide that they just want to crush them into the dirt. Premier in a position to do so. They can continue this beautiful defense.
Yeah, absolutely. They 100% can. Now, I think probably their biggest thing here, Fate there on the Capital, is probably going to be the most influential member of this. They're going to have to. It looks like Keymine's already trying to get some control there away from Jello, but Jello is just going to shut him down right there. That TCSG being so powerful in his hands.
Yeah, down goes Keymine's. Once again, Keen has not yet found a frag. In fact, look at this. Only one kill came out last round, and that was from Fate. That's tough. They really need to get picked up. Yeah, I was onto Yosh in the form of a Mozzie, I believe. So they need to be able to pick that up.
Yeah, they really need to start making. They really need to start making some moves here, or they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to make too much of a difference here. Losing out Keen Minds, who in the past has been such a key fragger for your team, is not the way you want to see things go. And it's going to make things harder for Ancients, but I definitely think they still have all the utility they need to still do this. Sergeant Taylor is probably going to be the best example. If they can get underneath here and they can flush out any of these these anchors, then I think they'll be able to do a lot of good work. Now, with being able to flush that bandit off the wall there, or not the bandit, the Kaid off the wall there, they are going to be able to open it up and get that breach open, which is going to start pushing things a little bit in their favor, but it's also going to sort of push the defense into very defined positions. They aren't really going to try and push into that server room area.
Kind of lock them down out of the server room. That's most likely the idea. We have a hold here from Nomad in, trying to check both sides. Watching the garage will be one of Ancient's ops, trying to get the frag. Oh my goodness, Sergeant Taylor punishes Nomad. What a shot there. Really expecting the buck to go down, but he says, no, not today. And he'll continue on his push upwards through the garage, taking a fair amount of damage down to just above 25 HP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're going to see Sandwich Man taking out one there, Flacco as well there, and Sandwich Man is actually planting on the site here. No one said pushing through is actually going to be able to take down Flacco. Yosh getting a double kill, taking out Sandwich Man and Fate in one fell swoop, and actually preventing that plant there. And oh, Sergeant Taylor with a nasty kill on there onto Yosh. Now it's all no one said to rush up and prevent this plant. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and Sergeant Taylor has the plant down. 44 seconds left to go here. No one said all he has to do is take down Sergeant Taylor, and the fire from the Goyo shield will do it. And that will be the diffuser gone, and Premier are now up 2-0.
Wow, what a crazy round. Good. You just saw so many kills go up, and I sure had a tough time keeping track of them, but wow, that went fast, and a great job from Premier to be able to keep their heads level even as they were falling one by one, and the Jaeger did a good job at finishing up. What a perfectly placed Goyo trap to just take him out with the flames. And even though he got the plant down, he was unable to escape outside and try to hold it.
Yeah, I mean they definitely they did they did a good job there in placing that Goyo shield. Good on, I believe that was Toph there on the Goyo for really good gadget placement. So yeah, Ancients are really starting to struggle here. We saw again that back and forth between them on Villa, and they seem to be fairly dominant for the most part on Cafe. And I don't know, the dominance I was expecting from Ancients on this type of map is just not there.
Yeah, very odd indeed. Like you said, they have a lot of great fraggers that just aren't fragging that greatly. And if they can start doing so, I think we'll see a change in pace here. But who knows if they will. Premier is in a good position to continue this lead and really get some good positioning when they switch over to offense.
Absolutely. Yeah, if I really think if Premier wins this round, then I gotta say I think it's over for Ancients. If Premier is able to complete a flawless site rotation, then it's possible, but it's going to be very hard for Ancients to come back from.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
It really will be. It shows that they're good on any site, and if they can continue, get that 3-0, they can do it again and get a 6-0, which I saw in the last a couple days ago when I was casting, and that is almost impossible to come back from when you're just watching that match point every second of every every round. Puts a lot of pressure on you. Just a single mistake can send you flying. Let's see if Premier is going to be able to push him to that level of stress.
Yeah. I think probably the biggest thing here is that they were able to bring it down. They were able to start getting some kills during that last round, but
Attackers have located a bomb.
they just weren't able to really effectively take care of most of that defense. I mean, it came down to it was really all on the shoulders of Sergeant Taylor there, and in that 1v1, I mean, Premier just had the gadget advantage. They had the setup. They just knew how they were going to do it, and there hadn't been a really good effort to clear out that utility, so it was still there and still able to be used. And I think if we don't start seeing an effort to not only clear out utility, but also start taking out key members of the defense of Premier, then I think Ancients aren't going to really be able to come back for this. As I say that though, Nomad going to be taken out there by Sergeant Taylor. Actually, not Sergeant Taylor, Fate, my mistake. And that's actually a great kill there. Taking out the smoke this early on in the round, and making sure that none of his gas canisters can be used is definitely something good to see. Jello and No One Said are going to be something to worry about, though. Jello with that TCSG, No One Said on that Jaeger. Both of them have been really big players, but Yosh as well has been a really a dominant force as well.
Yeah, so far we've seen all of these guys do great. Toph in the last game was absolutely dominating, and right now, though he's struggling, I doubt that, just because of a map change, he's going to suddenly become an absolute potato. He's going to be able to do some good work as well. And I'm excited to see how this goes. 0-2 for Ancients with 50 seconds. Can they complete the push? They're down. Or excuse me, they're up a nice man advantage. How they're, oh my goodness, that's gonna change. It's Jello with the TCSG. Will we see more kills? 30 seconds to go, and there it is. Flacco trades as Yosh will take down Sergeant Taylor. Flacco takes down Jello.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. The diffuser is also down inside of Jim, and that is now a diffuser retake situation. And no one's head has a great crossfire on that. Yosh is able to take down Flacco though as he tries to go for it as well. But Keenbind's downstairs is able to get the quick refrag, and now Fate is going to run to try and get that. But no one said there is going to be trying to take that out. Toph though is going to be able to finish it off. And now it's all up to Keenbinds here in a 1v1, but he's going to catch. Oh, he's going to catch Toph off guard there, and that is Ancients taking round number 3 and showing that they are not down and out for the count here.
Absolutely not down and out. Good job there from Keen Minds. He saved the round, and he might have saved the game there. Like you said, I mean, if Premier was able to take that map rotation flawlessly, they would be in a really, really good position. But seeing a little bit of fight left in Ancient shows that these guys could definitely make a big difference as we go into the later rounds.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting if Ancients can continue to do what they did. So despite having it what looked like was going to be the end of the round for Ancients. I mean, losing the diffuser inside of Jim with only one player being taken out, it was the player that hopped into Jim, lost the diffuser. I thought that's it. That's it. Ancients have lost the round with that death right there. But they just absolutely flooded in. They were able to take ones, and they were able just to win it when they needed to. And I mean, I just gotta hand it to Ancients for really stepping up despite losing such a large part of their attack.
A very big clutch came out from Keen Minds indeed, and I'm sure he's looking to do it again. And once again, we're seeing this really nice even spread coming up from Ancients, even though so far it's not too many frags because we're early in the round still, but it's kind of moving into that same thing where we have Jello, Yosh, and no one said the top ranked right now for Premier. It's might be turning into one of those games where it's going to come down to is even spread going to outgun the top 3 fraggers of Premier.
Yeah. So we already see they're taking their time. They're clearing out upstairs because they know that that Yosh and no one said last time we're able to use the upstairs as an avenue for rotating around and sneaking up on them and getting the kills. They're going to take a long time clearing this out, but they're already in, and they've already pretty much cleared out all of the top floor with only 50 seconds gone, so that's going to be in Ancient's favor here. Yeah, they've pretty much already cleared out the top and the first floors here, which means they know everyone is on the bottom floor now. They just have to make sure it stays that way now.
A very good attack. That's kind of textbook. You want to make sure you can control the top 2 floors and then move on down from there. Just good practice right there. We'll see if there's going to be any frags coming up. I'm looking for C4. Nomad has Nomad and Yosh with the C4. They can do some work. No one said going to do a great shot. Takes down Keen Minds. Sergeant Taylor with the refrag onto Jello. Maestro down. That's quite a bit of utility. Down go the Evil Eyes. They won't be able to do anything more than sit still and spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're going to see Nomad there getting a nice little kill there onto Sergeant Taylor as well with the C4. So already going ahead and taking him out. And the missed shots there onto, I believe that was no one set, unfortunately going to make things a lot harder here for Ancients as they approach here, as they're trying desperately to take the site. They're not going to do the same, hey, let's drop down the hatch and just hope this all works.
Oh man, what a strategy that was. If it did work, that would be absolutely mind-blowing. But no, they're going to try to take a little bit more slow, stronger approach, as they still have 45 seconds, which in siege time is still quite a bit.
Yeah. So 35 seconds left. There's still plenty they can do. Probably the biggest thing that they're going to want to try to do. I really hope they don't try and go for this downstairs push through the hatch like they did last time. I want to see them go for the church push. If they can really effectively take care of that church push, I think they're going to go there with Toph there, able to take down Fate there. Sandwich Man able to get one there on to Nomad, but Toph once again gets another one. And there is Yosh there to close it out. and Premier have won round 4, putting themselves up 3-1.
A very good job. Looks like they did decide to just kind of yeet on down, but that'll be Yosh making sure it doesn't go too well. Round 5 coming up as we are nearing the switch. We'll have 2 more rounds, including this one, and then we'll be able to see what is going to happen when it's Ancients on defense. Could we see a big switch up? Could everything change? Or will Premier be even more dominant on the offense?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because right now Premier are just they're absolutely dominating Ancients, and their attacks just are not working because Premier is set up to absolutely deflect them. And I just Ancients don't know how to adapt to that.
Yeah, they really have been struggling here, and
Defenders, protect your
we're going to
bombs
want to
from
be able to
being
bring
used
it to
by
a
attackers.
3-3. I don't think that's likely. I think a 2-4 would be more reasonable here for Ancients at this point, as they are in a pretty tough situation. If they can do that, they'll at least have something to work with. It's much better than 5-1 in the advantage of Premier.
Yeah, so they're heading back now to CCTV cache, and this is the side that came very, very close. Now, if Ancients want to potentially pull this back and
10 seconds
and
left
pull
before
this to an
insertion.
even split half, this is where they need to do it.
5
It
seconds
came
left.
very, very close during the last time they were here to Ancients pulling this out. Now they just have to really close it out. They have to get the plant down earlier. They have to do a better job of clearing out utility and getting the kills they need earlier on.
And definitely look out for those Goyo shields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They can be,
definitely.
yeah, that was a good play there from Premier to end it like that. Is they're ready to go in. So like you said, with the Maverick and Thatcher gun, a lot of this clearing out has to be done kind of manually. They got to go in by hand. That's what the Buck is going to look to do. Do a lot of damage, and if they can do that, they'll be able to continue their push right on into CCTV, and from there, who knows what can happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So they're really looking here. They're trying to do their best to take out that electrical that's holding down that wall. They aren't quite sure where it is there. They have, I believe. Yeah, I believe that's Keen Minds. They're looking down below, trying to find it through the hole that he's made there. But there's nothing really indicating where it is quite yet. I think he was able to take it out there. Actually, no, he was not. But one part of the wall
Where
is
is
going to
it?
be opened up. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this is that it's only covering that one wall. I think
That
it's
is
somewhere in the floor. It's like up in the top corner somewhere. It's interesting.
Hmm.
Bomb has been
Um,
Interesting
located.
indeed.
yeah, so they are going to be able to breach that wall open. That's going to make things a little bit easier here for them.
Still a minute and 30 to go, so they've got some time to work with. As we'll see the Hibana throwing some of her X-Kairos in to take a little bit of more of a view into that garage, make it a little bit less safe for the defending team. Still, they've got some time to work with. They've got a lot of people to work with. It's Keen Minds who took most of the damage there. It looks like a little bit on the Sandwich Man from walking into electrified walls. But other than that, both teams looking pretty darn healthy as we hit the minute.
Yeah, so we see Key Minds are able to take down Nomad, though, and that is their garage control all gone as they will start to go for this two-sided push here. So, yeah, we see Long Eagle trying to be held out there by, I believe, that is no one said there on the Jaeger, taking some sprays through there, but nothing going to connect just yet. Keen Minds Fate looking to go ahead and push. Sergeant Taylor looking to push up the red stairs. C4 comes out looking to try and go and actually catches on the Flacco. Sergeant Taylor gets the nade onto Toph, takes out Jello as well. That's most of their cash hold already dismantled, and the diffuser is down. It's a 4v2 now, a 3v2 as Sergeant Taylor, or no one said, moves in, takes down Sandwich Man, Key Minds, takes down Yosh. It's all up to no one said once again, but this time in a 1v3, he is dropped downstairs. So do a heads up, the drop from Sergeant Taylor comes out. Doesn't work out. It's a 2v1. Keen Minds and Fate looking to hold this down. One from outside and one from all the way back in garage. He doesn't look to the left immediately, but it does work out from his Fate. Keen Minds, however, has pushed back, and as Keen Minds falls off, it allows an opening there for No One Said to push forward. And now it's Fate to stop this, and Fate sprays on, and he will kill No One Said Ancients. Take round number 5.
Beautiful job there from Ancients. They get it. You saw how quickly things went after it hit that minute mark. Everyone going down, and they were able to keep the man advantage, turned into a 3v1, and from there, it worked out well. So the final round before the switch happens, who's this going to go to? I have to imagine that Premier has got to want this desperately. They want as many cushion rounds as they can have. But at the same time, has Ancient found something good here? Can they start making a push to shut these guys down?
Yeah, it's possible. So they're heading back to CCTV cache now. Now that was more what I was sort of expecting from Ancients heading into that. It was more.
Attackers need to locate and
It was
defuse as many bombs as
more.
they can.
I don't know. It was coordinated, and Ancients were able to get early kills. They were able to sort of figure out how Premier was going to hold that, and it looks like Premier is actually adjusting their strategy a little bit. Now they are bringing out Nomad there on the castle instead, and I think they're probably going to be using that on the construction walls, and potentially not the construction wall, the construction window, the CCTV window, and if I had to make a third guess onto where the other one's going to go, probably the
10 seconds
garage
to
door.
go.
Some would say that it's probably a waste of a castle barricade, but taking that out and making so that they don't just have to shoot it is one thing in itself. But it looks like he's actually going to be using it to hold down Lounge, and with still one in his pocket, so Nomad, what are you doing?
He's put himself into quarantine there.
I don't get it, because I mean, the castle barricade would be much more useful, in my opinion, in holding down that window on CCTV cache, because you've seen multiple times Fate has used that to his advantage to throw his firebolts, throw his smoke bolts in there to get anyone off of the wall there to prevent the breach. So instead, we're just going to see him just place them downstairs to hold down Lounge. I'm not really sure why. I still don't really understand why exactly he's done it.
It kind of feels like a waste there. He put him down and ran back up the stairs. Just I mean, interesting. Trying to maybe drain the utility might be the idea, but I mean they're not really. You don't really have to break down all three of them if you want to get to those stairs. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting. So Toph actually seeing the head of one of the members of Ancients there. Not entirely sure who that was, but not going to take a shot there, as he wasn't able to line anything up directly. So yeah, it looks like Ancients are they're taking a little bit more time than they did last time. They aren't quite as set up as they were before. Keen Minds, ooh, through the window, they're able to take out No One Said.
What a shot. Good job. Definitely seen a lot more from Keen Minds this game, going 5-3, up there with the top fraggers on his team. And they'll lose the Jaeger pretty quickly. It's a good gun down. And Keen Minds with a double kill to take down Toph. Beautiful job, but he will be refragged upon by Jello and the TCSG. The absolute wonder beast it is. But the Sandwich going to take down Nomad. Down goes the Castle into a 4v2. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Premier. Let's see if they can handle it.
Yeah, it'll be 4v2. We saw this once before, and Jello and Yosh are the ones up this time. A little bit different than we saw last time, but the TCSG and Yosh there on the SMG-11, I think we'll definitely be able to do some more. 2 C4s on them as well. 30 seconds left before they're really gonna have to make their push. Smoke coming out here, looking to try and prevent anything from coming out. Fire nade coming out on the top of red stairs, gonna deny this. Sergeant Taylor, actually gonna be trading downs there, but it doesn't matter. Yosh takes out one, and Feint. I'm actually not entirely sure what happened there. I think because he was down there, that caused the chain reaction of everyone dying.
Okay, well, pretty interesting round there, but they made it to 3-3 as we go into the switch here. Ooh, I'm excited. I think this is where it's going to get exciting as both sides switch over, see what happens. I don't know if it's going to continue this nice one after another, just slow neck to neck, just easy pace that they've been having. One explode, and if so, who? Once again, this is the overtime map, so neither of them really, I guess, wanted it or preferred it. So
Mhm.
it's kind of that even ground here that we're seeing.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But I don't know. We saw this come out during the first half of Villa as well, but
Defenders, protect your
Premier
bombs from
just
being defused by
really
attackers.
Premier pulled things together and were able to just drag away with it. But we've seen sort of the opposite here. Premier took the lead early on, and Ancients have started to claw their way back and show that they aren't going down. I actually believe it was a 2-1, and Premier's only won one round since then. So Ancients have been doing really, really well in combating this defense from them. So now what we'll be able to see is Ancients defense going to be as strong as their attack was, or is Premier just going to absolutely run over Ancients here?
And I think we'll get the answer in a couple of moments as round 7's attacking phase begins
Attackers are moving out to
right
locate a
now.
bomb and defuse it.
So they are bringing in the Twitch here. No one said with a beautiful gun, the FAMAS. Fantastic weapon. Let's see if it'll work out well for him.
Yeah, the FAMAS is just it's hands down one of the best weapons in the game. There's probably 3 weapons I consider to be the absolute probably top tier of weapons in the game. That's the R4C, it's the F2, and it's the G8. I mean those 3, well, attacker weapons, I'll say that. They are single-handedly the 3 best weapons on attack. Defense, it pretty much goes it goes 416, TCSG, and if I had to say a third, I'd probably say the SMG-11 is the third.
SMG-11. All right, and we are seeing the Clash this time. Clash can be a very, very good. That's sure to be what they're going for. They just waste as much time as they can. Take that away from Premier, and well, you're going to be taking a lot away. And Cthulhu down there. Best gun is the one that goes brrr.
Yes,
Oh,
the Vector.
Oh, the Vector indeed.
Yeah, and it looks like they're a long angle from, I believe that is Sergeant Taylor, almost getting spotted out there by Jello, but not gonna be shot at there. But actually, no, I'm not exactly sure who's holding that. It's Keen Minds, it looks like, is the one sitting over back in that direction. But yeah, this clash is going to be interesting. They have Twitch there to try and get some get that wall opened up there. But the clash is going to be interesting. Its main purpose is going to be denying. It's going to be denying this push into the garage because a good CCTV take, you'll see pressure from. You'll see pressure from at least 3 directions. You'll see pressure from construction, stairs, CCTV wall, or garage. You'll have 3 of those combined. Will usually is usually what you see from a good push. As I said though, Jello able to push in, take out Flacco and Key Mines, but not before Sergeant Taylor and Fate get kills of their own. Toph and Jello going to go down here, and it's back to an even 3v3. And Sergeant Taylor takes out another one as Fate takes down No One Said there with a C, or Nomad, my mistake, and it's just No One Said here with the F2 to try and get back control of the diffuser and win out a 1v3 up against a Clash, a Kaid, and a Mute.
Yeah, that's a tough order to fill there, and Fate's gonna do a little bit of a run out, take the No One Said down before he causes any more trouble. A great defense. I think we've seen a lot here. Those trades were absolutely fantastic. You saw, I think it was Jello get the opening 2 picks and immediately came back, and it just went down for downhill from there, excuse me, for Premier after that lovely C4 came up, and it just left No One Said all alone, very cold and afraid.
Yeah, no, Ancients. Yeah, so Cthulhu actually gave us a really great stat there. So out of the 4 times that CCTV has been played so far in these 7 rounds, it's been played 4 times. Ancients have won 3 of them. Once on defense, twice on attack. Premier have only won that site once. Ancients know how to take care of CCTV. Yeah, they absolutely know how to take care of it. And now we'll get to see them down on Church Armory. This can I think this is probably going to be the biggest tell for Ancients. If they do well here, then I think they've got this in the bag. If they can really dominantly hold down 2 sites, then they've got this. I mean, they can take it to, it'll be like a 7-5, potentially a 7-4, but I think
10
they've got
seconds to
this.
insertion.
Yeah, this will be a very, very big big round for them. Let's see what happens. 3 seconds left, and we'll be moving on in once again a very, very similar setup for the offense as per usual. And looks like pretty similar here as well. Going to be interesting to see how it goes. The Kaid and that TCSG, always a pleasure to see. And we'll have a nice little Legion throwing out his goo mines.
Yeah, so already getting them thrown out. So I mentioned this before during the last match that probably Toph able to take down Keen Mines before Keen Mines take down Nomad. I think with a spawn peak there. That's an interesting trade of kills where that happened there. Huh. He was sitting over there, and they sort of traded out, but not really. But a buck for a Jaeger, I think that's a better. If I had to say, I think that I think that Keen Mind's got the upper hand there. Taking out Nomad, that's a buck down this early on. No vertical control used, and no one really to fill that role as well. No shotguns. No, there's breaching charges on the side of Toph, and no one said. But they're going to be much harder to use.
Attackers have located
Yeah,
a bomb.
absolutely. Not as easy as the lovely, lovely skeleton key. It can just bust open anything that's soft as quickly as you can say, "Hey, Buck, what's up?"
Yeah.
But no Buck tonight. Nomad falls, and they're going to be looking for more revenge. Keen Minds did get refrag, so it's a 4v4, minute and 30 to go. As, like you said, they are going to be trying to open that up, get a little bit of soft destruction manually here by putting breach charge down.
Yeah, and they are actually going to be able to open that hatch up successfully. And there was an impact trick. There was an impact left on the side of Sandwich Man, but he didn't use it. He let the hatch be opened up. I'm not sure if that was a conscious choice or if he was unable to really do anything about it there, if it was just positioned incorrectly. Sandwich Man going to take a bit of damage there as well, though. Minute left. They're going to have to start making some moves here soon if they want to be able to really start getting things going. But there's Fate there to take down Jello and prevent the dirt push. That's another great pick there on the side of Ancients there, as Yosh also takes down Sandwich Man. No one said taking down Flacco. And it's starting to fall in the favor of Premier here, but Sergeant Taylor and Fate here have been doing really well in the avenue of kills, so I definitely wouldn't count them out just yet here, as they could still do a lot of good work up against Yosh, No One Said, and Toph.
But that said, Yoshi and No One Said have both been almost top fragging there, but a beautiful shot from Yoshi. Now No One Said, and Toph will take down one of them, but Sergeant Taylor with the refrag onto Toph. Seconds beginning to tick like minutes. He knows where he is, but he's gonna have the time. Ancients with a round 1. Beautiful job from Sergeant Taylor, who has absolutely picked up the pace here.
Absolutely there. He was just on fire that round. A quick little triple kill there to finish it out there. And Ancients have put themselves up 5-3. Now, I said that if they were able to win that round, that I felt like they could win it. Now, that is the stipulation that they won that round very definitively. I don't feel that they did. I felt that was very neck and neck between them, so I don't feel like I can still accurately call it. Yes, Ancients are at a much better position now. They're going to be heading to Gym Bedroom. So, if they win very heavy-handedly here, they have secured it. They've absolutely secured it. They go back to CCTV and they win it. But
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, this if they end up losing here, if they end up losing here, then I think it's still kind of up in the air. But if they win here, it's over and Ancients has it. But if they lose here, Premier is still in this. And this is sort of in my opinion, this is the make or break round.
Could be a turnaround for Premier. It could be a nail in the coffin for them. We'll have to find out as they'll go to Gym Bedroom. This is gonna be fun. They're doing good. It's nice to see both teams really kind of perform well in respectively on defense mostly. Premier so far, I don't think they've won an attack yet, which are going to be looking to do so as they move on into the action phase. Here we go, Flacco onto the Kaid now.
Yeah, so Flacco switching off of that, taking away Sergeant Taylor's role that he was playing last time. I think that's partially because I think Flacco may feel more comfortable trying to Kaid trick, which is likely what he's going to be doing there, sitting over in that area. And they're going to have Yosh there on the thermite, which it's a lot harder to Kaid trick a thermite charge. It's very, very easy for a Hibana charge because as soon as that's stuck on there, it's done and dusted, and it's going to always be on there. So as soon as you hear it hit, you can just throw something on there and take care of it. But ooh, it looks like they're actually going to force. They're going to force. I believe that was Sergeant Taylor off there. A Goyo shield there, placed in just the wrong position there. It's going to force him off, and they are going to be able to get that jacuzzi wall opened up.
Beautiful job there. A fantastic work as Premier takes a pretty solid place here. They're going to be able to push in. Sergeant Taylor taking a significant amount of damage. He's going to have to really, really, really play it safe. We'll see if he can. No one said once again with the F2, the Twitch doing a good job so far. Frags coming out. It's a 4v5 as Toph finds another. Fate goes down as well, so it's practically a 3, but down goes Toph to Sergeant Taylor. He'll drop as well. 3v4, 2v4, as things aren't looking great for Ancients. It's Fate and Flacco. Fate down but not out. Flacco, he won't be able to get the clutch.
Wow, this is just absolutely fell in the favor of Premier here, but they've shown now that they can turn this around. But so this is where, so I think Ancients can take this round. They'll put it up to a map point. It comes down to their church hold, whether or not they can hold off Premier. If they can't hold down church, then the Premier is definitely still in it. And I think that Premier can potentially pull it to overtime. But if Ancients are able to win back on Church, then they'll have it, because I honestly believe that they'll be able to take CCTV. I think they'll be able to take CCTV and put it up to match point, but I'm unsure as to whether or not they'll be able to close it.
Yeah, this is going to be a close one for sure. It has been, all the games that we've watched today have just been so close, just back and forth, and it just seems like it'll never ever end. It goes on, everything is just back and forth, a seesaw of absolute anxiety, as we have no clue as to which way it's going to go. A lot of weight going to be leading on the team this round to try and get that match point for Ancients. And Premier could potentially tie it back up 5-5 and put them in a great position to then take the match point in the next round.
Yeah, so I don't know. No one said it's going to be really crucial here. That Capitao is going to be a big part of this push, as well as Nomad. If Nomad can get underneath and can take care of Sergeant Taylor's electric claws, and they're able to get a good breach onto this wall, then I think they have a good chance of taking this. Now, it all still relies on No One Said being able to open up the window, flush anyone off of that wall, and start pushing things, and start pushing people over into Garage and Cash. Now, you do have Toph down here in the lounge, and you do see No One Said actually using both of his firebolts there to try and flush out the Clash, which I think that's a really big misplay. Using both of your firebolts on that is not what you wanted to do.
Especially when you don't really get that big of a result. Sandwichman's still very capable of blocking any entry. that could come back to bite them in the butt. We'll have to see. Good shot as Keen Minds finds the first frag on a Nomad. Down goes the Buck, and another SEL takedown Toph as well. Zofia gone. The man's absolute tear. Will he continue? We'll have to find out as he keeps on moving.
Yeah, here, and it's really just up to the three main top fraggers here, the 7, the 8, and the 10 here. They've been the real driving force behind this. And if they're continuing to be that, Jello here has really been the main cog in this machine. Yosh has been able to do some work, especially, which is really interesting to see as he's been playing more supportive roles on the attack, and he's still been able to get a lot of kills, which is really, really nice to see a support player getting kills, really showing that, hey, you don't have to be a fragger to get kills. But yeah, so Jello is going to be the biggest cog in this machine, as he's used all of his hard breach there. Yosh still has both of his charges, but so no one said is getting ready to move through master bedroom, and Keen Minds has a potential to move up here and take this.
We've seen crazy things happen before. You know, a two-man lead can be instantly cropped down. So it's not too much to say that they could make a comeback, but with time running out and a beautiful C4, as well as Keen Minds picking up a third, and Flacco with the final kill, that all went very downhill very quickly for Premier, and that's putting Ancient into a great position to win it here if they can hold the church and Arsenal.
Yeah, which honestly, it's not 100%. It came very, very close that last time, and if they go through that, if they decide to repeat it, which if they lose it, I'm unsure as to why. So statistically thinking through this, if they end up losing this, they'll have a 50% win rate on the site. Why would you head to bedroom, which you have not? You've only played it once, but you've lost it that one time, and it was very, very heavy-handedly in the favor of Premier. So I think even if they lose this, we'll see Church Arsenal once again. Yeah, I think the rest of regulation of this match will be played in Church Arsenal, whether it's 1 round or 2 rounds.
Well, that is gonna be exciting to see. Ancients desperately trying to shut these guys down here. They have to want to end it. It's been a long day for them, as all the matches have been pretty darn close. We'll see if they can once again get a 7-4, which has become a very, very common theme during this little series we have here.
Yeah, it's been 7-4s all around, and maybe Ancients will continue that trend. And we'll see if maybe they'll be able to hold this down a little bit better than they were last time. I mean, it came down to the absolute wire with Sergeant Taylor able to win it out there for Ancients in the last moment. They're getting a beautiful little triple kill there to close it out. But you can't rely on 1vx's working out every single time. You got a plan. You got a plan for them not to work out. You have to have contingencies in place so that, hey, we lose this person, we're not gonna fall apart, but we have to make sure we don't lose this person so that we can stop this push.
Interestingly enough, is we saw this team Ancients as a pretty well spread out, but now they've kind of adopted that triple fragger in the form of Flacco, Keen Minds, and not Flacco, Fate, Keen Minds, and Sergeant Taylor. I mean, they all have kills above 10, which is huge, or at a 10, and I think that says a lot. You know, 3 fraggers is a lot to take care of. We saw that in the previous games we watched, and I think that might be the key here to them potentially getting the win right here on round number 11.
Yeah, and another thing about it was the fact that it's also kind of shifted a bit. Keen Minds is still doing great. Flacco was one of the top fraggers during the match of during the very first map of Cafe, and Flacco with the beautiful pre-play C4 able to take down Nomad there. And that's a big piece of utility now gone. Yeah, a beautiful pre-place there from Flacco there.
Yeah, it was fantastic. That's going to give them a nice little edge. Their Buck is down here. Looks like he managed to get a little bit of soft destruction happening, but not as nearly as much as he could have. Nomad, who has been a pretty big proponent in the last couple of games, will fall. It's now coming down to the last minute on match point, all upon Jello, Yash, No One Said, and Toph.
Yeah, and looks like they're going to be starting to make this push down a little bit through dirt, a little bit down the main stairs, and a little bit in kitchen. Smoke grenade going to come out and is going to prevent this push here into dirt just a little bit. Fate here doing as much as he can to stop this push coming out from Yosh here. You've got No One Said down on the bottom of the main stairs. You've got Toph here looking to push up as well, and he will be able to take down Fate. And that is dirt control in the hands of Premier. And before anything can happen, No One Said is going to be able to take down that Black Eye, trying to give some more intel there to the Valkyrie of Flacco. Nothing going to be up luck there. It looks like they're getting ready for a hard push here into Armory, and oh, that's Keen Mine is going to get caught off guard as well as Sandwich Man.
So you talked about you can't let it come down to a Yaks, and well, it kind of is. Sergeant Taylor once again in a sticky position, and he won't be able to do it. Attackers win round 11. Good grief, could you get any more intense than this? Of course, they're still in a good position to end it here. It's still going to be match 1 in round 12. But oh my goodness, these guys are battling like nobody else.
I mean, this is what I was expecting. This is fully what I was expecting coming into this. Is like, hey, that defense on Church Arsenal was really, really weak from Ancients last time. I don't like it's up in the air whether or not they're going to be able to hold it down. And they just weren't that time. They were able to get a couple of kills here or there, but overall, it just fell apart right in front of them, and they weren't able to take care of it. Part of it was they only had one player holding down. They had one player holding down dirt. They had their one player holding down blue was just completely unaware of the pressure coming from dirt, and the one player they held holding armory was taken out rather quickly. And it just all just kind of slowly fell apart there, out into the favor of Premier. Now, if they're able to play this a little bit more close to the chest, and they're able to play this a lot tighter than they did before, I mean, making as few mistakes as possible here with their hold, setting things up as perfectly as they possibly can, then I definitely think they can have it. I mean, just
10 seconds to go.
the stars all have to align for this to work out now. They've kept pretty much the exact same lineup from last time. I mean, knowing it's worked out for them once in the past, given it was by just a hair. I think they decided this is where they need to dial it in. This is where things need to stay.
Absolutely. Kind of their final stand here. General Custer's last stand at Church and Arsenal. Let's see if they can do it. This is going to be huge, because if Premier is able to take this, we're going to overtime. And if Ancients takes it, well, then it's just game over. It's 7-5 for the first time in the past couple of games. It's not 7-4, so that's kind of exciting. We're seeing a bit of a difference. And these teams have been really, really well. Great game to see both of them just dominating and on their own maps. And now here on the overtime map, it has been so close, neck and neck. Premier has a big chance to make that an even closer game. 6-6 would be huge for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Premier pulling this to overtime after, I mean, looking like it was pretty much done and dusted. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's, oh man. I definitely think that, again, if Ancients keep this a lot tighter than they have been, that I think if Ancients keep this a lot tighter than they've been keeping it, that they can absolutely have it. If it just comes down to whether or not they can. Now, one thing to notice too, they are definitely softening up Premier here. They're using the angles to their advantage, and they're softening them up as much as they can without actually taking any damage themselves. Because aside from Keen Mine is taking around like maybe 5 HP's worth of damage, Yosh and Nomad are both very, very low here. Yosh especially is probably one of the biggest players there that that's actually Yosh, unfortunately, getting a team kill there through the floor, taking out Jello. That is going to be really big on the side of Premier, having Jello down. Oh man, that's got to be rough.
Yeah, I would not want to be in comms right now. Sure, they aren't very happy, but they most likely will try to keep a level head and keep it going. Mistakes do happen, but that's a big, big player to lose. Your top fragger with 12 kills down on a very important round is not what you want to see. Slowly pushing up will be Toph. Held, but no, a beautiful shot to dig down Fate. Now the push in through dirt is happening. This is where it all fell apart last time. Will it fall apart for Ancients again as Zulfia moves in very P, but it's a 2v3 as everything is getting crazy. No One Said and Yosh both with a frag. Sergeant Taylor will take down No One Said, and another as Toph falls. The Zofia no longer going to be holding that dirt down. 2v2 as the play goes down from Yosh. Will they be able to find it? Yes. Beautiful C4 and defenders win on round 12. The game is over. A fantastic play from Ancient and Sergeant Taylor to finish things up.
Yeah, a wonderful C4 there to deny that plant. So even if both the kills, even if somehow we were able to see Nomad get a kill there, I mean it was not going to go in his favor. There was too little time left for him to get that defuse back on. And he wasn't able to swing back on and take care of both of them. They were both in front of and behind of him. But still, an amazing plays from both of these teams here. Really great match. I mean, really back and forth between these. Never really saw a team just like heavy-handedly like shooting forward towards the end, like we saw during the first two maps as well. So yeah, really great Siege being played, and really wonderful match to watch as well. Yeah. But yeah, I think that is going to I think that's going to go ahead and do it for us here on this edition. This is the first day of the Contender series. Actually, no, it's the last day. My mistake. This is the last day of the first week of the Contender series. We will be back tomorrow night with the first night of the Invite series, and that will be Powerhouse versus Carnage and Bonk versus Ultra, which those are looking to be some two very wonderful matches. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I have been Loaf, joined by the wonderful Slayzil.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Have a good night, and we will talk to you very soon.
Yeah, thank you all, and have a good night.